Hello friends, I am Christy Lou. You may be having deja vu because it is another wrap-up video from me and I'm wearing the same thing as in my last one because I'm filming those back to back. This is my March manga wrap-up. So, March was an insane month for me for reading manga. Most of this is due to me feeling like I didn't want to be behind on Yona of the Dawn anymore, so I just marathoned it and I also didn't feel great a few weekends in a row, so I just binged manga. So that has most to do with the situation we are dealing with today. I read like 38 volumes of manga this month, so we are gonna have to get into it. I didn't count how many of these were digital and how many of them were physical, but there's a lot of physical, but there's a few digital ones also. So let's start with some digital manga. First off, I read volumes 3 to 7 of Chihayafuru. Chihayafuru, being a digital only manga, is the greatest crime in all of manga. If you're not familiar with Chihayafuru, it is a sports manga, essentially, about this girl who's really good at competitive karuta, which is a sort of card and word game in Japan. I will link a video down somewhere in the description of like a better description of karuta, but essentially it has to do with the reading of these poems and you like claiming cards, and there's a whole competitive league, I guess, for it, and it's not by any means a like professional thing. One of the things that the manga deals with and the anime deals with is that you can't get paid for being the best at karuta or whatever, or being professional at karuta. It's like a hobby enthusiast sport. It's a little bit weird to describe, but trust me, Chihayafuru is one of the best things I have ever read. So I am a huge fan of the anime. It's one of my favorites ever. You should definitely go watch it. There are 3 seasons and it is beautiful, but the manga is only available digitally in English. There are some like bilingual versions, but you can't go to Barnes & Noble and pick up a volume of Chihayafuru, which is a crime because it is beautiful. The covers are so nice and the art is so great and the story is wonderful. It has amazing characters. Chihaya is so lovable and determined, and it has everything. It's technically a josei manga, actually. It's published in a josei magazine, so even though it is about high schoolers, it's technically a josei manga. It's a sports manga. There is a romance aspect to it, and there's also a lot of discussion about being the best at something or how you can like improve yourself and like running towards a certain goal and how you can achieve that. So that's really good. There's a bunch of like interesting characters. Especially like in the I've seen more of the anime than I've read of the manga. Currently there are 24 volumes available in English, and actually most of them are on Kindle Unlimited or Comixology Unlimited, so you can read them super easily. Yeah, I am having such a good time reading the Chihayafuru manga, especially since I love the anime so much. But yeah, if you are looking for like a really, really good like female-centric sports manga, like read Chihayafuru because it is beautiful in both art and story, and just I have so many feelings. I literally could just talk about Chihayafuru like forever. So if you have read Chihayafuru, please tell me because I just need to talk about Tai Chi. Speaking of Tai Chi, there's so many themes of like not being as good as your like really talented friends, which is a storyline or a discussion that I really like and relate to a lot. So it deals a lot with that of like being able to catch up to your friends or catch up to people who are like better at you than something, and like how that ties into like your self-worth, or how you view yourself and how you should and shouldn't feel about things. It's so good. Like read Chihayafuru. I read multiple volumes of it and I will yell about it forever. In these few volumes, we have our high school Karuta team with Chihayafuru and Taichi and their friends, and they go to a regional tournament and get a really big success there, and they go to a national tournament, and it's kind of them being the underdogs sort of thing. So that's a really good storyline. Next, I read I think volumes 7 and 8 of Say I Love You. So this is about all that I can read digitally through Kindle Unlimited or Comixology Unlimited. I talked a little bit about this in my previous wrap-up video from February because I read some more volumes in there, but I didn't go too much into detail because I wanted to talk about more. I don't remember when things happened, so I'll just talk about it to the point of here. So generally I really like this manga a lot. I like the issues that it deals with. I like the more mature kind of air that it has despite being a high school romance manga. But there was one storyline and the resolution to it that I did not really agree with. I'm gonna be kind of vague here, but there's essentially one character ends up isolating herself from everybody else. She is not a very well liked person, so she realizes this, and she basically goes on a binge eating, definitely has an eating disorder type of thing, and isolates herself from everyone, and people get really worried about her, and the situation resolves, but I don't like the way that it was resolved. Essentially, they all told her, like, why are you doing this? Think about how it is affecting everyone else around you. Like, you can't just think about yourself when doing this. And I felt like that was not a great way to go about this. I feel like maybe it's very, I don't claim to be an expert on Japanese culture because I'm not Japanese. I have not, while I have lived in Japan, it was for 6 months, so that is nothing. But I do feel like a lot of Japanese culture and society is rooted in not inconveniencing others, and for things like trains not being late and waiting in line and stuff like that, that's great, wonderful, works really well. But when it comes to like people's emotions and like things like depression and like eating disorders and stuff, which are really rooted in depression, talking about how somebody's actions affects other people is not great. They didn't really center the storyline about helping her feel better about herself. They were really like, look what you're doing to other people, to your friends, and you've inconvenienced so many other people, and I didn't really like that much. I felt like it was not a very healthy way that they resolved that issue. So that's my one gripe from this manga. I do believe it is rooted in like a cultural mindset, but I don't agree with that. Editing Chrissy here. So I feel like I wanted to expand on this point to make my thoughts on this particular storyline more clear. So this character in this manga was very mean to our main characters and to many other people. She used people and stuff like that. So them talking about like, look at how your actions are affecting other people, totally justified, because she is like using people and abusing people, essentially, forgive the rhyme. But I think they were specifically talking about her inconveniencing other people and making other people worry when she began to kind of isolate herself and cut everybody off. Talking about the way her actions affected other people in regards to her bullying and abuse of others, completely justified because she is affecting other people with that behavior. But her own self-loathing and her depression and her isolation should not have been talked about in the sense of what that is doing to other people and how it's inconveniencing her job and her friends and stuff like that. It wasn't like, hey, what you did was wrong, but we're worried about you and how this is affecting you, so how can we make it better? I think that's kind of what I was trying to say. I hope that makes it a little bit more clear. Otherwise, Say I Love You is a super great high school romance. If you want something that's set in high school but it's a little bit more of a mature storyline, then definitely check out Say I Love You. So the next manga that I read is something that I'm like very happy that I've read, but also like very sad, and that is Waiting for Spring Volume 14 by Anishin. This is the last volume in Waiting for Spring, which if you know me and you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I am obsessed with this series. I love it so much. I love all of our characters, I love the romance, I love the art, I love the basketball, I love everything about this, and this is the last volume. Technically the series proper ends in volume 13, and volume 14 is just extras. So they are mini comics, short stories, that sort of thing. A lot of these short stories happen after the main series happens, and it has to do with other characters or other couples besides Toa and Mitsuki. So it's nice to see an insight into some of the other characters. There are some of these short stories I didn't care for, like the one about Aya. I don't care about Aya at all. I don't like him. So didn't really enjoy reading his as much as I would have wanted more from Toa and Mitsuki, but it's really cute, really fun. I don't like that they named it volume 14 because it is misleading. I was watching Mira the Geek's videos, and they, in German, she's from Germany, I think, and they call it like Waiting for Spring, like loose ends, which makes a lot of sense. Also, Kodansha, I have a bone to pick with you. I love you, but the German version of this, they got postcards with it. Like, they got like cute art postcards and nothing. We didn't get anything. I even pre-ordered this. We didn't get any sort of extras, and I'm about to go order the German version because I want the goddamn Waiting for Spring postcards. But no, I thought that was really cool. I would really like, especially for like final volumes for like bigger series, that would be really awesome if we got like extras with the last volume. I know in Japan a lot of the times there's like a special edition or a first press version of the volume of manga. They do it for like pretty much everything, and you get like extra stuff with it. So I know for Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card, I have a few volumes of the Japanese version, and I didn't get the special edition, but you could get like acrylic stands or buttons or some extra stuff, and stuff like that would be really cool. Even if they were like art prints for the last volume, that would be super fun. I wish we had that. I talked about a physical manga already, but I also read Blue Flag Volume 6, and I read it on the Shonen Jump app, and Blue Flag, oh boy. Oh my god. So volume 6 was so good. We have some characters getting together, we have some confessions, we have some situations, and it is so good. I feel like my heart is being like pulled like every single volume, so I'm so excited for the next volume. I think there's like a cliffhanger at the end, and I just can't wait to read the next one. I think on the Shonen Jump app it comes out a little bit later than the physical release, but I will be patient and wait for the Shonen Jump app release. Eventually I'm gonna get the physical volumes because I love it so much, and if you're not reading Blue Flag, you definitely need to. It's a shonen manga for first that deals with a lot of relationships and high school stuff, where you're gonna go in the future after high school, and it also has some LGBTQ rep, which is great. One thing I will say about it is that it is very wordy. Like, it is a manga that focuses a lot on like emotions and stuff like that, but there is one character in particular, and she talks so much, so a lot of the times I end up like skimming what they read because it's very wordy. So if you don't like super wordy stuff, maybe just be aware of that. But really, you should read it anyway because it's so great and so important. Next up, I finished up Tokyo Babylon. I read volumes 4 through 7, and I do have a video coming out hopefully soon, a vlog and discussion of this series, but the end of the series kind of wrecked me. There's a few stories in here. There's a lot of like episodic things happening in here, and a few of the stories in it just like made me cry. I definitely teared up, like ripped my heart out, crying in the break room at work. So Tokyo Babylon, super good, super classic clamp manga. Please wait for a larger discussion of the details on what I liked and didn't like about Tokyo Babylon. Next up, I read volume 12 of Snow White with the Red Hair by Sorata Akitsuki. So you all know I love Snow White with the Red Hair. Beautiful kind of fantasy setting manga. Really love it. I love Zen, I love Shirayuki, I love Mitsuhide, everyone. This volume is a turning point in the series, I feel like. We have, I don't want to give any spoilers or anything, but just know that this one is a turning point, so the series is gonna go in a direction after this one, but it's really good. We get to see, we meet the queen, which is nice. There's a lot of good moments between Zen and his brother Izana, and kind of how their relationship has grown, and like really comments on how Zen has grown throughout the series, so that's really good. There's some cute Zen and Shirayuki moments. We get to see everybody dressed up in like their formal wear, which I really like. So yeah, really excited for the place that this manga is gonna go after this. Next up, I read volumes 8, 9, and 10 of Haru Ride. These are all backwards. 8, 9, and 10 of Haru Ride. We got my man Kikuchi here. We all know, if you've been watching my Instagram stories this past week, when I've been finishing up this series, you all know my heart breaks for Kikuchi, and I love him so much. So we go on a class trip. We get some miscommunication between people. We get some new relationships. I don't really want to go too much into it because, you know, it is close to the end of the series, but I'm very mad at several characters in this story, and it's kind of colored my view of the whole series. I know this is like widely loved and adored, and I believe the first half of this is really good, but the second half of it kind of goes downhill because we get to an annoying place, and I really do not like Ko, like, at all. I don't like him. At this point in April, I have finished the series, so expect a review at some point where I'm just going to yell about how much I don't like Ko. Just to warn you, there is so much promises of other discussion videos coming, and I'm going to make them, but this is just to get you, give you a little teaser, I guess. And speaking of discussion videos, I've read volumes 5 and 6 of Fruits Baskets. I'm not going to talk too much about this because I am doing a series where I talk about my experience reading Fruits Basket for the first time. But I am really liking this series. I believe, like, end of volume 3, really good. Volumes 4 and 5, kind of like middle of the road, and like, I felt like it was meandering a lot, maybe, and just like introducing a lot of characters through those volumes. But volume 6, on the other hand, very good, super invested now, the halfway point of the series, so I cannot wait to read the rest of it. I really need to finish this like in the next few months. So yeah, expect a discussion video about these to continue my Fruits Basket series later. And then we have volumes 3, 4, and 5 of Something's Wrong With Us by Natsumi Ando. So this series is really good up until maybe about 5. So basically this is I don't want to call it psychological, but it's like this girl, her mother is convicted of murder, and the person that says he witnessed the murder is her childhood friend who she had a little crush on. And so she goes to get revenge later when she is grown up, and she meets him again at this kind of like Japanese style confectionery, and he doesn't know that it's her, and so she's kind of out there to get revenge. They end up being engaged, so there's a lot of backstabbing and betrayal and stuff like that. So it's really good up until volume 5. Volume 5 to me was really confusing. I don't know who or what to believe anymore, and like I know for like sort of like a backstabbing, like revenge sort of story, mystery type of thing, that can be good, but one of the characters flip-flops what he is saying so many times, I had a hard time keeping track of it. I don't really know what to think right now or what to believe, and it's just hard to keep track of, and I feel like they could have done it maybe in a better way, with less going back and forth. I don't know. It was just really confusing, and I mean, I'm gonna read the rest of this because I want to know, but I do believe that volume 5 was pretty weak because of that, the frequency of the flip-flopping of like, I love her, no, I'm only out for revenge, and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like really strong up until volume 5. And finally, so much. So I got tired of being so far behind on Yona of the Dawn. I had up to volume 27, and then during the month of March I bought volume 28, and it was just sitting there. I was only on volume 13, and I was like, or 12 or something like that, and I was like, I just need to read this. I can't be this far behind anymore. I wanted to read it like as it's coming out, so I just I wasn't feeling well one weekend, and I was just like, I'm gonna read all of this, so I did. So I only have volume 28 here, but the rest of it is all back here, but I read from 13, I think. I read from volume 13 all the way up to 28, and my pre-order for 29 is like on its way to me, so I'm so excited. But I love this series so much. There's a reason that everyone talks about this, because it is that good. And after like volume like 14, it goes. It's so good. You get a ton of like politics. The romance really wraps up, which so good, and there's a lot of moments where it's just like so heart-wrenching. There's a lot of like sadness for like what could have been, and you really feel that through Hawk's character. I feel like I mean, obviously like Suwon doesn't care, and Yona is starting to really move on, but Hawk still feels this like intense amount of like hatred and disappointment, I think, and like sadness for the future that he really wanted, and it was taken away from him for seemingly no reason, and it's just so sad to see him because he's so full of rage because this life that he dreamt of is just like taken away from him, and he was betrayed by his best friend, and it's just seeing them like dance around all of these feelings, and we really get to see Yona like really grow up, and the political intrigue, all of the new characters. Like, why does shoujo manga get so shafted with anime? Like the rest of this being animated, so good. Like the first part of the series when she's like collecting all the dragons, trash compared to the rest of the series. Like it's so good, and I want it all animated, but it's not, and I'm so bad about it. But at least we have the manga, and it is coming out at a very quick pace, and I am so thankful for that. I believe soon we are going to be caught up with Japan, and then it'll just be like a race to translate it. So yeah, I really loved catching up with this series, and I'm glad that I am caught up, and I don't want to be that far behind ever again. So yeah, Yona of the Dawn, like, everyone needs to read this. It's really that good. So that's everything that I read in the month of March. It was a lot, the most I have ever read in one month, though I feel like April, if I'm keep up on the pace that I'm reading right now in April, it's gonna be the same. This also really helped me close in completing my manga TBR. By the end of April, I will have probably, if I can get through all of my plans, I will have probably read most of my unread manga, which is really, really exciting, but also kind of scary because then I will have to find new things to read. Yeah. So that's everything that I read in the month of March. If you've read any of these, please let me know in the comments. Let me know what you've been reading. If you have any thoughts about any of this, please let me know. I'd be interested to hear. So I am gonna go clean up the soda stain on my floor now because I knocked over my soda. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more manga goodness from me. That is all I've got for you guys today. I'm Chrissy Lou. Till next time, matane!